I'm Michelle Clover. I'm Head of Marketing at Farnborough International. Good morning, Lisa. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us today. Can we just start off by asking you a little bit about yourself, please?
Of course. Yeah, I'm Lisa Holt. I'm founder of Zing Insights. We're a full-service market research agency that specialise in events and media research. Launched Zing about 9 years ago, having worked in media research for more than 25 years, and I've worked agency and client side in research, which means that I've also been responsible in organisations for commissioning research, which I think gives me a bit better sense of some of the pragmatic decisions that have to be made in terms of buying research. Got an amazing team working with me from our base in Norfolk, and we also work in partnership with other research specialists that we'll call in as and when we need to on a project by project basis. So it just enhances the skill set that we have as a team.
What is the biggest challenge for you and your business that you're facing at this current time?
This is an interesting time to be living through. It kind of goes without saying, but changes happen so fast, and yet on some levels it's also so slow. So if we take ourselves back to December, who could have imagined the lifestyle that we're all living today, and the changes that we've made to our everyday lives, in a matter of weeks are quite incredible, and how that's impacted our view of the world is also quite incredible. How many people won't want to go back to how things were pre-COVID? How many have realised that they actually prefer the quieter, less consumptive, more contemplative life that they're living now, in comparison to the kind of 100 miles an hour mad rush that they lived before. So for me, I think the biggest challenge really is the change in people, their attitudes, their behaviours, the way that they'll want to live their lives, and the way that they will have to live their lives for a period of time. And I think that every business needs an understanding of those changes and how that impacts their marketplace. So that they can adapt and create the right propositions, communicate in the right tone of voice for the audience that they're working with today, not the audience that they were working with last year or the year before.
And what do you love most about events?
I think it has to be the energy and dynamism that there is when you talk about events. Anyone who's ever experienced being on site at during the build-up process for an event, and you look around the halls and there's all of the workmen and stand builders and carpet fitters, and you often look at a hall and think, how is this going to be ready for tomorrow? And yet, the doors open as if by magic. Despite the hours and hours of work, the doors open and the people team in, and the buzz and kind of explodes off of the show floor. And there's just nothing like it. It's that incredible energy. And events enable connections in a way that no other tool can. We're interacting constantly these days through platforms like this, but it can't replicate that feeling of bumping into someone that you haven't seen for years, or meeting someone face to face that you've been dealing with by email or phone for months, or finding something new and exciting that you wouldn't even thought to look for. You wouldn't have known to go on Google something because you didn't know it existed as a potential solution to a problem. So that's what I love about events.
Lisa, what has this experience shown you around face-to-face business and why it's so important?
I think if this situation that we're in right now teaches us anything, it's that we're essentially social beings, and the interactions that we achieve face-to-face through events feed our souls. They help to build our trust, they help to increase credibility of the organisations that are involved. They increase our confidence in products and services. They increase, our effectiveness. We're able to achieve more within an event environment than we maybe would be able to achieve via other means. And they also enable us to some degree, protect our confidentiality. So we're able to have conversations with people face to face that we wouldn't necessarily have via remote means.
And finally, what would your positive words of wisdom be to the world right now?
I think, like everybody else on this kind of corona coaster, we all have these peaks and troughs on an hourly basis, let alone daily basis. But I think if I'm certain of anything at all, it's that people will soon gravitate towards people again. We'll want to touch and feel products. We'll want to talk to specialists face to face. We'll want to interact, to network, to learn, and we'll want to continue to be human.
Thank you very much, Lisa, for your time. That's been amazing.
You're very welcome.